Hi, everyone. Have you ever wanted to do a river cruise with Jim Cuddy? I mean, how many of you are fans of Blue Rodeo and Jim Cuddy? How many of you would like to meet Jim Cuddy? Well, you can do that with us, and we are going to talk all about that. Hi, everyone. I am Frances. I am a trusted travel advisor with Stewart Travel Group, and I am absolutely obsessed with turning good trips into great ones. Welcome to Let's Talk Travel live with Stewart Travel Group. These conversations that we have at least once a week are about discovering travel that fits you and helps you create memories that you'll love. Tonight, I'm joined by Alexandre Bergeron, and we are going to talk about river cruises in Portugal, and in this case, river cruising in Portugal with Jim Cuddy. We'll talk about what it's really like, who it's best for, and a few things people might be surprised by. So as we're going, if you have questions or thoughts, drop them into the comments anytime. We'll grab them as we go. And so let's get started. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you. Good evening. Welcome, Frances, as well, and our Atlantic Canada travelers, and I think people from the rest of Canada as well who are following you in Stewart Travel Group. Such an honor to be discussing and talking about travel because we're all passionate about discovering new places. And tonight, I think we're gonna do that in the best possible way, which is river cruising. I believe. I think all the trips are good trips, but I think I do have that little preference for river cruising.
I wonder why.
I don't know. Especially river cruising with AmaWaterways.
Yeah, so you are from AmaWaterways, and Ama is, our preferred ocean or river. My goodness, I almost said ocean.
Rivers,
river cruise line. And but before we get started, I think it's really important that travelers understand that there's people behind these brands and behind these products. So Alex, you are a traveler. You've been involved in this industry for a long time. What was the moment when you realized that travel was your thing?
So I think that my first trip ever, because we were not very, I wasn't very fortunate that I didn't have the chance to travel when I was young with my family. So we would go to places in Canada, beautiful places in Canada, especially New Brunswick, PEI, Nova Scotia, but we never had the chance to actually fly over to Europe. But when I was, I think, 13 or 14 years old, I was at high school and we had the chance to participate to a student exchange. And I actually landed in a great family. They were from Lyon, so in the middle of France.
I was French city.
Yeah, beautiful town, and I had the chance to live with the family for 3 weeks, and it took me to all of those beautiful places like the French Alps, and I just fell in love with the history, the architecture. We went to a beautiful town from the Middle Ages, and I just said to myself, okay, this is what I want to do when I grew up. I just want to travel. I was actually good in art, so I wanted to be an art teacher. So I studied to become an art teacher, but I ended up finding it boring. I said, no, that's not what I want to do. I just want to, I want to work in travel. So I went back to school. Yeah. And I studied travel, and I had the chance to first work for Air Transat, which is an airline that probably most of you know. And then I actually crossed over to the ocean cruise line world, where I worked for about 8 years. And I just went from oceans to rivers. And I've been with AmaWaterways for 2 years now. And that's probably one of the greatest moves that I made.
That's really interesting, Alex, because I mean, a regular, we sort of talk about the progression of a traveler. And often people will start by going to all-inclusives and, doing that kind of thing in the Caribbean. Then they might progress to ocean cruising. And then from there, they might progress to river cruising. And your career has kind of done that. So that's really cool. So where are the last 3 places you've traveled with AmaWaterways?
Wow, that's an excellent question because I've done a few since I started 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I think my last one was actually back 2 months ago in January. We actually started off the year on the Danube. So we usually have our global sales meeting where all the team members from all over the world, we meet in one place. So it was on Ama Magna, which is actually one of our most spectacular ships. So we did the Danube in the winter. And we had snow actually in all the places we went. It was snowing, which is just gorgeous. And
Yeah.
we had a fabulous time, and it was nice because those places were less crowded.
Yeah.
So I felt it was very authentic, very nice. Then I also did the Moselle back in the fall in October, which I fell in love with. Just gorgeous. All the high turns and the rivers and the beautiful the vineyards and the mountains and the castles. And it's very nice because it's a little off the beaten path because, of course, there are some river cruise lines that actually sail on the Moselle, but not as much as what we would
Moselle is
see.
located between the Rhine and the Danube, right? Essentially, you have to go along the Moselle if you're going from one to the other. Is that right?
Yeah, kind of. So that would probably be a little bit more like the main river, but actually we did the main as well as a little bit of the Rhine, and we ended up on the Moselle.
Yeah.
So we did actually the less crowded, the less visited maybe rivers in Europe, but they're very charming. The towns that we visited were very nice as well. So, and we did that in the fall, and we had the beautiful foliage. So it was
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So that, and I'm probably missing one trip. That was probably Egypt that I did last year, of course, with AmaWaterways. So we sailed on the Nile and we spent a few days in Cairo. So that's a trip of a lifetime. I would probably easily go back to Egypt. Put that on your bucket list if it's not already up there, because it's something that will change your life forever.
Amazing. Amazing. So many places that you can go with Ama. And so what I'd like to do now is really help people picture themselves on a river cruise with Ama. So walk us through a day cruising, and let's talk specifically about the Douro River in Portugal. So the Douro goes, when you're sailing this river, you go from Porto into Spain and then back, right? It's a like a two-way on the same river, but you're stopping in different places. Is that right?
It is right. Absolutely. We go all the way up to Vergaditeran, which is on the border of Spain. And I love the fact that it's a very gentle pace. I love the slow travel myself because I love to immerse myself in the destination, meet with locals, and enjoy lots of great local foods and local drinks. Of course, we're talking about amazing wines in Porto, in the rest of the Douro Valley, but not just port wine. A lot of people are big fans, and I would probably include myself in that, of the Vino Verde, which is a very light white wine.
That's my favorite.
It's delicious. I love that. We have the Dao. So lots of different wines will be tasted along the Douro Valley. I love the fact that since it is part of the UNESCO World Heritage, there are different restrictions. And one of them is that sailing lights are not allowed at night. It means that the boats, that the river cruise ships cannot sail at night. It means that it's actually, we're lucky because we get to sail pretty much within the day, essentially at the daytime, which is amazing because we can enjoy all those beautiful mountainous green landscapes. So the sceneries are just fantastic, cute little towns. Sometimes we're talking about 5, 10, 15 houses with the cobblestone streets and the little cafes. It's very cute. I love the fact that twice during that cruise, because of course all the tours are included with AmaWaterways, but we have included those meals that are being served in local quintas. Quintas are actually family-owned estates where most of them produce their own cheese, their own meat, their own wine. So you get to meet with the family and their friends, and they perform some music for us as well in their courtyard. So it is fantastic. It's all about how we actually meet with the locals. I think that it is a very authentic cruise in Portugal, and I just enjoy the ease of not having to pack and unpack every day. That's the beauty.
People get up, like, let's go through a day. So people get up in the morning. What happens?
Yeah. So typically I like to get up at 7:30, 8 o'clock. Then I would probably go up on the main deck, on the sun deck, because I don't want to miss on that beautiful view. Then I would probably go for breakfast at around 8:30. You can go at 9 o'clock if you're more of if you like to sleep in a little bit in the morning. Everybody has their own pace, and it's fine. So you go for breakfast. Again, I love the fact that there's no set dining. So the restaurant would be open in the morning. We also have the bistro option. If you don't want to go into the main restaurant, you just want to order something lighter from the menu in the lounge, you can do that as well. But I would enjoy a great breakfast. Of course, it's being served a la carte. We have some buffet items as well. if you're more on a rush and you want to have a quick breakfast. But I love being served in the morning. I think it's just a nice way to.
I tend to have two breakfasts whenever I'm on an AMA trip. I tend to sit down and order something from the menu. And then I'm like, I wonder what's over in the buffet. And so I go over into the buffet and I make myself a little plate of cheese and meat and, maybe a pastry.
I'm like you, I have the FOMO.
Yeah, great. And then I realized that, my second breakfast is actually coming. So
I love that. But it's just it's such a good start of your day. And after a great breakfast, so because on the Juro, as I said, there's more sailing that happens at daytime. So I would probably go in the lounge where you can actually have enjoy the beautiful views, or again on the sun deck. And we would probably go on a tour. Usually there would be one tour in the morning or one tour in the afternoon. And sometimes there would be one activity happening in the morning and another activity happening in the afternoon. So we would go with the local guides. Sometimes in ports, there are ports where we have a couple of options as well. If you don't want to do the main sightseeing tour of the little town, you could go wine tasting or beer tasting. But I like to think that on the Juro, just because those are smaller towns, most of the times we're all going to go in smaller groups, not 100 people will go on the same bus, but we're mainly going to go to the same attractions. And so we will have activities planned throughout the day. And I like the fact that whenever we're back at 4 or 5 o'clock, I like to go back to my stateroom. We have beautiful and very spacious staterooms, and I love to have a little 20-minute nap. And then I would probably go for our sip and sail, which is my favorite hour of the day. Happy hour. Not to be missed. I'm sure it's your favorite hour too. It's good because you get to meet a lot of people. You share your different stories, your discoveries. Those new friends become your new family member, and you will probably keep in touch with them, I'm sure, even when you come back. And then we'll go for a nice dinner at our main restaurant. So I think it's very nice. And again, every day has different tours and activities included. On some days, as I said, we're going to go into local quintas to meet with local families. Other days, we're going to go visit a wine estate, because there will be a lot of wine involved, I'm telling you, in this cruise on the Juro. Lots of local food. There are lots of places where we're going to be tasting the different local dishes. The Portuguese are very Catholic, and of course there are amazing basilicas, beautifully ornamented, that we're going to be visiting along the way. So it's a beautiful country.
Yeah, it's a great, I think that's what I really like about this itinerary, is it's such a nice pace, and it's quaint, small, slow travel. You still get to see the country, you still get to taste the country. If you haven't figured out that Alex and I love food and wine, that is why we're such big fans. And so I want to sort of stop us here for a second and say, well, where does Jim Cuddy fit into all of this? So for those of you who might be interested in exploring Portugal, which is such a popular destination right now, and who want a river cruise, because so many people, we've got a contest right now. Everybody go to our Facebook page at Stewart Travel Group, and you can be entered to win an AmaWaterways river cruise. It is part of our home show promotion. So we are giving away a river cruise thanks to Alex. So you can take a look at that. But if you follow us on Facebook, you can be entered. And when we're talking about these river cruises, we have had the opportunity to sail with Blue Rodeo and Jim Cuddy a few times. And I've sailed with them 4 or 5 times, and I can tell you it's really special. Not only is river cruising a really special experience, so when you go and enter the contest, you have to tell us when you would like to river cruise, what kind of season you'd like to river cruise in, or you can see us at the home show and you can be entered to win there. But certainly, river cruising is really special. And what we do when we bring these Canadian Juno Award winners onto the ship is the first night you get a meet and greet. So that night, typically, Alex, we've got our welcome from the cruise manager. We've got our safety briefing. You get to hear from the captain, who the captains I've met are all awesome, hilarious, fun. And they are the boss of the ship. So, and whatever they say goes. And then from there, we do a meet and greet. And so that meet and greet, you get a chance to shake hands and say hello to Jim and the other people who are on board. So on this cruise, we have Jim Cuddy, lead singer of Blue Rodeo, Barney Bentall, who is amazing if you haven't heard him, Jim's son, Devin Cuddy, who has a solo career of his own, a keyboard player, amazing. His voice just sends shivers up my spine. And Anne Lindsay, who is the fiddle player / violin, depending on how she's playing her instrument. She is playing as well, and she plays in the Jim Cuddy band. Anne has also been known to pick up her instrument, take it with her when there's a beautiful cathedral or a church or something that you can go in. We were in, God, I don't even remember where. It was somewhere in France, Alex. And the cruise manager told us that the acoustics at this slightly ruined cathedral were amazing. And so she brought her violin, asked me to come. And we were standing in this atrium, half inside, half outside. The church had been bombed during the Second World War. And so one of the walls was missing. But the acoustics were incredible. And not only did she play, which was haunting and magical, but she also had us singing, and I'm not a singer if anyone knows me, so it was impressive. What that experience will stay with me forever. So Annie, thank you for that. So that's just the first night. That's a meet and greet. The second night, there's a full concert, which is amazing. Later in the week, we do a songwriter circle. So all 4 of them will be up on stage, and they will sit and tell us stories about the songs that they're going to play for us, which is really fun. And sometimes they play covers because that cover has a meaning. Sometimes they play their own stuff. It's really, really a beautiful opportunity. And then we do another concert. And as well, while you're on board, you'll have a chance to win. 3 staterooms will get a chance to win dinner with the musicians. So it'll be a fundraiser. I think this one is for the QEH Foundation, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just double checking. Yeah, it's for the QEH Foundation, and we are raising money for the Diabetes Center, which is a super important cause here in PEI. And so that is what's happening. So that's a really neat opportunity. So not only do you get to do the river cruise thing, we add in all of these really special moments. And I can tell you they're really special. Jim, Barney, Annie, Devin, they will all be with you on the excursions. They are on board. They don't mind stopping and chatting. They'll come to the lounge, have a beer, have an opportunity to chat. So they're just such... I haven't met Barney, but the other 3 for sure. And I bet you $100 Barney is just as great. So I think you need to come, Alex. It's going to be...
Oh, wow. You're making me want to go and meet those amazing artists. Yeah, I think, those are very, very special. Those are blessed moments. Wow, that's very tempting. Wow.
And then with the Quintas and the 2 nights, you've got local entertainment. Like there's going to be music, food, wine all week. Amazing
and I love the fact that you're pointing out local entertainment as well, because we do bring on board local musicians. They're amazing, and of course great singers as well, because we have the fado singers. Fado being a musical genre that is very typical from Portugal. So you will have the chance to enjoy that fado, which is very dramatic, very intense, but beautiful music style. So, and again, 100% of the staff on board that specific cruise. That's regulation from Portugal. Everybody working on board has to be from Portugal. So it makes it even more authentic, even more special. And of course, the chef is Portuguese. So the food will be very Portuguese. I love it. It's a very recomforting food, like mama style Portuguese food with a lot of seafood, lots of great fish. Yeah. And they have those seasonings that they use for the meat, like especially the chicken, that are just incredible. So food will be delicious. And maybe I would love to add something, Frances, about when you ask me about what a typical day would look like. I probably forgot about my favorite part of a cruise, which is actually going for a swim. Yeah. And AmaWaterways has beautiful swimming pools on the sun deck, of course, and they are open 24/7. So my typical day after dinner, usually when I have the chance, I would probably go back into town for a little stroll. I love to walk and have that little digestive walk, meet with the locals. Sometimes I would go for a last drink. And when I come back, it's probably 10 or 11 p.m. I would go for a late night swim under the stars. And it's so quiet there. It's very special because the Douro Valley, it's all about, you're all surrounded by nature and it's unspoiled. It's untouched. Yeah. So it's very special. And if ever you feel like you've eaten too much or you've had too many good glasses of wine and you feel like you need to lose some of those extra calories, we do have a gym on board. So this could be included as part of your typical day. It's not included in mine. Just so you know, it's not my favorite part of the day, but
let's be real.
So we do have those options, same as you could also get a massage on board because we do have a little spa and a beauty parlor if ever you need to have a haircut as well. So you really have that floating boutique hotel. I would probably add that luxury boutique hotel that floats. And it's all about that comfort and that ease, not to have to pack and unpack every day and to get to see all the great things along the way. I think that's a very special way. And I think a lot of you it might be the first time going to Portugal. And I think it is worth adding some extra nights. So if you are interested, of course, you could spend 3 nights in Lisbon. So we do have that land package that Frances and the entire team at Stewart Travel Group will be able to add for you to make sure that your trip is complete. Of course, transfers will be added as well, and the air. So they are just amazing experts, and they know everything about the destination, and they know everything about how to get safely to a destination without any problem. They really make the trip
Portugal is such a hot destination. We're doing lots and lots of travel for people to Portugal. So if you do want to spend time in Lisbon, you want to extend your stay, you want to add something after, you want to fly over and have us do your flights, your transfers, that kind of thing. And this is a hosted group trip. And so the great thing about that is that we will be there with you. So in this case, the hosts on this trip are our owner, Glenn Kennedy, and our past owner, Travis Stewart. So the guys are taking this one. It's going to be an absolute blast. They're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to have a lot of fun. And so let's just wrap up, Alex. I just want to talk about, so a lot of people know about river cruising. They kind of get the concept, but Douro is different. Portugal is different. It's a there and back cruise, but you stop in different places in each direction, number one. Number two, you're sailing during the day. You can't sail at night because we're in a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Correct.
Number three, all the staff are Portuguese. And so you get real life, real drama, real Portugal on board. Amazing. And there was something else that's amazing. Oh, the quintas. That's what I was going to say.
Quintas,
you get the opportunity to go off the ship for an included dinner, 2 nights on this itinerary.
Yeah, one time is lunch, and the other time is
okay. So once for lunch, for dinner. And this is a smaller ship. So this is only 51 staterooms on this one?
It's 102 guests on board. Absolutely. So it really feels intimate. Everybody will become easily friends, probably on the first day, maybe after 1 hour on board. And of course, it's the fact that you guys will be able to enjoy the ship for yourself. And that's the beauty of it. We really do take over the ship on these. They are just so much fun, and the staff is always so great. I have to say, Alex, that every time I get off an AMA ship, I say there's no possible way that the next one is going to be better. And I can tell you, after doing this 8 times or 10 times or however many times I've cruised with AMA, every time it's better than the last. And I mean, it's just so I think there's a few great things, is that this experience is different. If you've river cruised anywhere else, this is a different experience. You've got the same foundation, that floating boutique hotel in a different destination with a totally different feel. And that's pretty
amazing. So let's just see if anyone has any questions about river cruising, about this trip in particular. Post them in the comments. We're about 10 seconds ahead of you in time, so we'll just give you a second to post your questions, and then I'm going to do some rapid fire. So these are 1-sentence answers, Alex.
Perfect. Okay. Wow.
Okay. Are you ready? Are you
I believe I am.
Early morning on the sun deck or a late evening on the sun deck kind of guy?
Definitely late evening type of guy. Under the stars.
Are you a make sure you book your massage when you get on board, or don't bother with the massage when you're on board kind of guy?
I do love my massage. Yeah, but I'm more of a last minute guy, so I might forget to actually book my appointment, but I'll definitely get a massage, and they're just amazing. Yeah.
When you've traveled with Ama, what is one unforgettable place that you did not expect to love?
Bamberg, which is actually on the Main River. It's a very cute little town, not very known at all. Nobody knows about Bamberg, but that's that one little town where you have no expectation and you just happen to fall in love. With the locals, and it's very typical, and it's of course in Germany. So not for this cruise, it's not in Portugal, but it is just incredible. Yeah.
Still lots of amazing experiences out there. Do you when you're in port, there's always included excursions with Ama. Do you be real? Do you do them every single port, or sometimes do you like to wander on your own?
Well, to be honest with you, I would probably, if talking specifically about Portugal, I would probably do them all, just because they're very gently paced. And I would probably don't want to miss anything. All of them are very food and wine oriented. Being myself a foodie, I would not miss any of those great activities. But other places, I feel like after having done my sightseeing tour in the morning, having learned about the city, I like to go and maybe spend the afternoon and go sit down in a local cafe, have a beer. Watch people go by and see what is the local life like. I do enjoy that as well. And that's the beauty of river cruising. It can be as structured as you want it to be, or as relaxed. And you really have that flexibility. The only thing I would not do in Portugal is biking. And that's the reason why we do not offer as an exception, because usually we do offer bike rides everywhere. But Portugal, just because of the fact that it's very mountainous, it would be very unsafe for us to provide bike rides. So it's better just to go for a little stroll or go on a bus at two places.
What is one thing you would never skip on a river cruise with Ama?
A meal. Make sure you have 2 breakfasts, as Frances, as you mentioned, 2 lunches if you need, and 2 dinners. And even though sometimes the servings, the portions might seem a little smaller because they're beautifully presented and they're very European style, I always ask, can I have double meat? Because let's say the night where you're going to have the lamb, it is just to die for. I want to make sure that I order twice the lamb. So be very, and we're very generous on that. So just let us know, and we're going to make you happy and provide you with
multiple courses at every single meal, every single meal.
Absolutely.
As I said, I have 2 breakfasts. At lunch, there's multiple courses. At dinner, there's multiple courses. And it's really cool. One thing we didn't talk about, because it's not on this itinerary, but I just want to let you know about it if you're thinking about doing the Rhine or the Rhone or the Saône in the south of France, or the Danube, what have you, and that is the chef's table. So on other river cruises, there's no chef's table on the Douro, because it's a smaller ship and because you get the experience of the quintas. But in other destinations, Ama has a chef's table restaurant. And so once per cruise, you get an experience like no other. It is a 7-course wine paired with wine tasting menu. It is to die for. The chef is right there with you. The head waiter and the staff are all there. So it'll be about 20, 25 of you at a time for that meal. And if it doesn't fill up, you can sometimes go a second time. But it is an incredible meal. It is 7 full courses, and that is located. The chef's table is on board. You just make a reservation with the front desk. The other thing I want to say about AMA is about excursions. And so AMA's excursions, if you're coming from the ocean cruise world, you might be used to, and I'm dealing with it with a client who's going on an ocean cruise in just a few weeks, is that the ocean cruise excursions, it's a scramble. You're always scrambling to get what you want, to make sure you sign up, to like be online when those excursions open for booking, all of that craziness. And there is none of that. I can tell you, there is none of that with river cruising. About 30 days, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you can go online and choose your excursions.
Actually, 60 days, but yeah, okay. Definitely, yeah.
Days, sorry, I knew I had that wrong. 60 days prior, you can go online and choose your excursions. Now, great, you choose them. What that does is help the cruise manager get a sense of who wants to do what. But every night, the cruise manager is going to come into the main lounge during sip and sail, and it's going to tell you all about the plan for the next day, and sometimes 2 days from now if there's things that you need to know. And if you're like, whoa, wait a minute, I didn't realize that excursion was going to be all wine or all food. I thought it was going to be hiking or something. I don't know. Like, let's just say you just had the wrong idea. You can say, wait a minute, I want to do that. Well, you can't change it in the app, but you go talk to the cruise manager, and the vast majority of the time, I'd say 97% of the time, they can accommodate you on that other excursion. The only time where that sometimes doesn't work is bikes. If the bike excursions are full for some reason, which does happen on the other cruises, or sometimes if there's like a taste of that they had to book a day in advance or something like that. But generally,
usually you're right. We're very flexible as long as we know the night before. And so you can change your mind because we don't know. You're on vacation and you want to have the flexibility. But you're right. This is amazing of AMA.
Yeah, it's just so good. So good. We have just a couple of questions here, Alex. So the first one is about mobility. Yeah. Can we talk about like activity level on these? You said like Portugal's super hilly. I know I've had people with walkers and what have you. Can you talk a little bit about mobility on river cruises? Because it can be a really good option for some.
Yeah, I think it's a very good topic. And we need to address that. So actually on most rivers, we like mobility is not an issue in a way that if you are able to make a few steps, you will be fine because we do offer those gentle options whenever it comes to the sightseeing tours. Portugal is a little different because due to the nature of the landscapes, it's more mountainous, it's hillier. However, most of the places that are a little more challenging, we use coaches to take you to places. So if you have a limited mobility, you will be fine as long as you have a mobility. So river cruising is not ideal if you are in a wheelchair and you cannot walk on your own. A few steps. You need to at least be able to walk a few steps because on board we do not have any specific wheelchair accessible staterooms. So you need to be able to make those few steps. But it's fine if you walk just slower. If you're just more of a gentle walker, it's fine. You will be totally fine.
There is an elevator on board. It doesn't necessarily go to every deck. So
it will not go to the sun deck. So you will not be able to use the pool unless you can make the stairs. You can go up.
And it doesn't go all the way to the basement. So you would be on the second or third deck, which is great. Those are the staterooms with the balcony. But yeah, definitely doable. And remember, you don't have to do every excursion. You can hang out on board when the ship is docked, if that's what you want to do. You make this your own, and that is one of the beauties of river cruising. So this upcoming river cruise that we have with Jim Cuddy, Barney Bentel, Devin Cuddy, and Lindsay, that is May 26th to June 2nd. That is on the Douro, so from Porto to Porto. We do have a limited amount of staterooms left. If you are interested, I am going to try and post the link in the comments. There we go. That should come in just a second. So I posted that on YouTube and Facebook if that's where you're watching and you're interested in taking a look at that. And if you have questions, you can reach out to any of us at itstime@stewarttravelgroup.ca. Don't forget to go to our Facebook page, find the contest post, and enter to win an AmaWaterways River Cruise. Come see us at the home show next weekend. So it's the 6th, 7th, 8th. You can also enter the contest there. We really want someone to have an opportunity to have a great vacation with AmaWaterways. And we would love to see so many of you on board our Jim Cuddy River Cruise this year. If you have any questions, reach out to any of us. Alex, thank you again. You are an amazing partner. That was a lot of fun.
It was my pleasure.
Thank you.
Take care.